The French Quarter was in chaos on the final night of Mardi Gras. Torchlight flashed across the parade route, and masked revelers pressed through the streets in a storm of music, laughter, and danger. Julien Dubois and Celeste Moreau moved through the crowd in borrowed masks, trying to stay invisible while tracking the cloaked procession of the Order of the Crescent Moon. Julien carried Madame Zora's talisman and Amélie's journal inside his coat. The scar on his face burned beneath the mask, as if warning him that the night would not end cleanly. Beside him, Celeste kept her camera hidden and her amulet close, her nerves under control but her eyes sharp. They followed the Order into a shadowed alley off Chartres Street, where the noise of the parade faded into damp stone and distant echoes. The procession reached a hidden grate and descended into a bootlegger tunnel beneath the city. Julien and Celeste slipped in after them. The air turned cold, and Crescent Moon symbols scratched into the walls told them they were close to something planned long before that night. The Order had promised 9 sacrifices. 8 were already dead. Halfway through the tunnel, the chanting stopped. Julien and Celeste froze behind a bend and watched the cloaked figures gather in a circle around a body on the floor. When Julien stepped closer, he recognized Senator Claude Renaud, a powerful man tied to the same network of corruption named in Amélie's journal. A monstrous papier-mâché mask covered the senator's face, and blood stained the straps that held it in place. "Ninth victim," Julien whispered. Celeste raised her camera and took the photograph despite the risk. The picture would matter later, but now it only confirmed what they feared. The Order was not finished. This death was not the end of the ritual, only a step toward the final one. Julien found a folded note in Renaud's sleeve. The words were simple and cold. "One remains. The moon claims its due." The message was a taunt, and Julien felt the old anger rise in him. Amélie had been murdered years ago for uncovering the same pattern of power, secrecy, and sacrifice. Devereaux's name appeared again and again in the journal, always at the edge of the conspiracy, always one step from proof. Now there was no doubt left. The Order was moving toward Magnolia's end, and the last victim had not yet been chosen. Celeste listened for the fading footsteps ahead and tightened her grip on her amulet. "We are too late to stop this body," she said, "but not too late to stop the next one." Julien nodded and stood, the talisman heavy in his hand. The tunnel stretched forward into darkness, leading toward the plantation and the altar they had not yet seen. Behind them lay the senator's corpse and the promise of a larger crime. Ahead waited the final sacrifice, the true heart of the conspiracy, and whatever stood between them and the truth. They went on together, following the trail into the night, knowing the last chamber would decide whether the Order fell or whether they did.